army. Tucker? Hey, Clayton. Well, here's the question of the season. Has America been consumed by identity politics?
Republican governors and legislatures are erecting one barrier after another that make it harder for black people to vote. It's a blast from the Jim Crow past.
We would work on Japan and China and Mexico because they're taking our jobs, and I want to bring our jobs back.
The American people are sick and tired of billionaires running our economy and our political life.
Our next guest says this election has brought out the worst in American politics, and Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump are making it even worse. Joining us now, Linda Chavez. She's the former Secretary of Labor under President George W. Bush, and we're happy to have her. It's great to see you this morning, Linda. So you believe that all three candidates left in the race are exacerbating what you refer to as identity politics. How is that?
Absolutely, absolutely. What's happened is instead of emphasizing the one in our national motto, out of many, one, the politics today is all about the many, and it's all about appealing to people on almost a tribal basis. You have Hillary Clinton appealing to the Black Lives Matter, to the whole question of people's membership in minority groups, to women. You have Bernie Sanders, who's using, in classic Marxist fashion, he's substituting for race, he's substituting class. And then you have Donald Trump, who's basically trying to tell whites that they have to be worried because Mexicans and Chinese and others are stealing their jobs. And I think that's very divisive. I think it started on the left, but it's now infecting the white. It started with so-called minority groups, but again, now it's spreading to whites who are also beginning to feel anxious about their ethnic identity. And I think it's really bad for America.
I don't think you can argue that Trump isn't divisive. Of course, he is. But he's making a very different argument, it seems to me. Bernie and Hillary are saying the U.S. government ought to award contracts and college admissions and the spoils of our society to people based on their skin color. Trump is saying foreigners are a threat to Americans. I haven't heard him say that white people are under attack by people of color. Did I miss that speech?
Well, what he does say is that Mexicans are stealing American-born jobs.
Okay.
And he said that, you know, his whole policy on immigration is not just to stem the flow of illegal immigration. If you go right onto his website, he wants no legal immigration for at least 2 years until the native-born have jobs. And frankly, that's the reason why you see some of the white identity groups signing on and being enthusiastic. It's why you see groups with very, very nefarious ties coming out in favor of him.
But hold on a second. With respect, I mean, all Americans at the bottom of the income scale very much, in fact, primarily black and Hispanic Americans, have their wages undercut by foreigners of any color who come here and work for less than they get paid. So why is that a racial conflict? Isn't it a national conflict?
We could debate the politics of immigration, and in fact, every serious economic study that's been done has shown that in states with high levels of immigration, wages are actually higher. They're not lower. The people who are taking jobs as poultry processors and in other respects are really people who are doing jobs that Americans have eschewed. So this is one of the, I think, misconceptions that Trump is out there trying to promote.
Okay. But I just want to be clear. Can you think of an instance where Trump has said, hey, white America, people of color are taking your jobs, or is that just something you're imputing to his speeches?
Well, what I do know is that when he gets busy tweeting, he tweets from sites like white genocide. He's tweeted some, I think, very disreputable groups. And he made the point not in his opening, not that illegal immigrants were bringing crime and were rapists. He said Mexico is sending us rapists and criminals.
So if you don't like Mexico, you're a racist? Is that what you're saying? Mexico's a foreign country. Why do we have to like Mexico or any foreign country? Can't you be for America?
we're an immigrant country. In fact, virtually all of us have some immigrant roots. People look at me and assume that my immigrant roots are Mexican. Actually, the only immigrants in my family came from Ireland. And so I think, you know, this whole idea that we're going to pit one group against the other. The left has done it for years, and what I think is tragic is that it's now infecting others. And I think the whole idea of victimhood is one that's not good for America. We're not victims. We don't need to be made great again. We are great. We are the greatest nation in the world. And we don't need, I think, a strong man to come in and make us great again.
Right.
We need the people of the United States to pull together, to think of ourselves as a family and as people who are made up from many different parts of the world, but we're not the many. We don't want to become multicultural. We have a culture.
Right.
We are American, and we ought to be pulling together and be one people.
Great to see you, Linda Chavez. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Tucker.
Coming up, Hillary Clinton firing back after the NRA endorses Donald Trump. She says he'll make the world a more dangerous and bigoted place.